Morning. I am back from NFU conference. That was really fun. More on that later. Just going out. Obviously made myself a brew. I'm definitely too old for shouting in crowded rooms. My voice has disappeared. Got back last night. There's been a frost last night. That's exciting. Right, let me try again. Been needed fix for a while though, let's be honest, but that is definitely yockle. I love it. Yes, that is how we roll. There's been a slow puncture in that wheel, as you probably do know, as we have to blow it up every single day. So I was obviously taking it to Kyle's, his brother's, who has a garage, and he'll fix it for us or stick a new wheel on or whatever. Obviously need to go and find out how Sheepy McSheep is. She's eating. She's eating. What? She's chomping. So I had a little bit of disaster when I went away. Obviously it always happens like that. I got a text. I was watching somebody give a speech on a stage, and they sent me a picture message of a sheep in the field that was really poorly. It had a prolapse, but not just the usual type of prolapse that you can stick back in. All its intestines had come out and everything. It was pretty gruesome. So he said, like, what do I do? Do I shoot it? And I said, yeah, just there's nothing you could do. I was like visibly annoyed, but knowing that it's not something I could have solved if I was here made it a little bit easier. It was one of our first year lambs that there's a lot of sun going on, isn't there? So, is that better? It was one of our first year like Texel cross lambs, so it wasn't even a clin, because the clins are the ones that are prone to a prolapse, and they really are. And I'm fairly accustomed to finding them and sticking them back in, kind of thing. But yeah, shame really. But yeah, obviously every time you go somewhere, something is bound to lie on its back and die. She's still alive. I can't believe it. I actually thought she'd dropped dead on Roy, and she hasn't. Miracle. She hasn't stood up yet, so don't get excited, but this is progress. This is really good progress. Go on, guess the breed that's escaped. Guess it. I heard it cross. It just had to be, didn't it? It just had to be. Like, why? Oh, there's a posse of you. Excuse me. You do not belong on a building site. What's going on? I know who's led you astray. Go on. Pregnant ladies are supposed to be dignified. Go on. Get on. Bloody naughty. Get gone. Wee. Obviously this is a temporary fence that we put up just to keep some cattle out off the banking. All of that is a work in progress. All around here is, to be honest, because this here was just not getting eaten off, and they kept leaning over and making a mess. So yeah, that was how we tried to fence it. Slightly unsuccessful, to be fair. I was going to start talking about muck, because Roy's mucking out, and then I saw these two deer down here. Just grazing away happily on a rather large wildlife strip that we'd left around a little beck we've got called Luzbeck. And in between that fence, the fence that they stood in the middle of, all the way along from down there, right the way down there, we fenced off the beck. I'm planting it all. It's gonna be nice. It is gonna be nice, actually. And in here, it's all like windy, and there's little ponds, which is really quite cute. but the deer are utilising it, which is, it's quite, yeah. Harry McClary's. March is here, guys, March is here. Go on, give it some. Take your bets. And we wonder why I get nothing done. Yeah, this is why. The muck that we're taking out of the cubicle shed, you may have seen, it's very much discarded silage that they've pulled over, a lot of really stiff muck. And then Roy will bring it down and put it in the muck shed. Now we've spread a lot of the wetter stuff that's going to rot down. Hold on. Ready for like grass growing. And just to give it that nutrients that it needs at the right time, which is something we've actually not been able to do before. We just had to spread it as and when. And we did spread it when the spreader was full. There was no choice, we didn't have any storage. Obviously now we have two rather large muck sheds with roofs on. But we were talking, sorry, that was me being posh, wasn't it? We were talking about, you know, when you muck your whole muck sheds out, your big straw beds and stuff, and the proper straw, like maybe the lambing shed, for instance. A lot of straw, a lot of big lumps. How, on a more regenerative system, now I hate that word, I hate it. I think Twitter has ruined that word for me. Like, it used to mean good things, and now it just means self-righteous, like, assholes, telling everyone how much they are better than everybody else because they're doing this and they're doing that. And it's completely ruined it for me. I don't know if other people feel like that, but I just can't, I can't stick these trends that come along and people take them and they make them into a, I don't know, some kind of, I'm an eco-warrior lifestyle choice. And they're very preachy and I hate it. It's a bit like the vegan movement, isn't it? It's like the opposite of vegans. But yeah, if you were looking at a more regenerative way of grazing and not ploughing, for instance, like Ollie's system, how, like, that really, really rough muck with big lumps in it and stuff would ordinarily be ploughed in because it won't rot down and it sits on the top kind of thing. How in like a more regenerative system are they going to like get rid of it? Do you leave it in your muck shed for over a year and compost it, in essence? I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't know. Going and listening to like Helen Dent talk at the NFU. I'll put a speech in here. It's pretty amazing.
And for us, what we've done since then is we've reduced our carbon footprint from 1.43 kilos of carbon dioxide equivalent per kilo of milk down to 0.99, which represents around a 30% reduction. Which is fantastic when we can look back and we have the data to do so. A large portion of that has been associated with the fact that we've had a big system switch. So the cows are now in new cow housing with much better ventilation, much better health and welfare for the cows, and they're on a robotic system, so they're milking 3.3 times a day and averaging around 11,500 litres.
So while I was away, the molasses came. The sheep are loving it. So I'll double check how much they are, but I think they're about 420 quid for an IBC, nearly full of molasses. They measure it on weight, and obviously we measure it on volume, which I can't quite get my head around. So we're just going to go and take this trailer to Roy's dad's house because although we have near enough matching Milwaukee tools to him, his are a little bit heavier duty and he has a big impact driver, which we do not have. I think the grinders match. I think that's probably about it in the set. Like the grinders are the same, but his drill's bigger. Obviously his impact driver is a lot bigger. So we're going to have a go at fixing this down. So obviously you can see we can't use it at all. So what we're going to do is we will grind these little bad boys off. And then hopefully get this stuck back down. I've just said to Roy, I wouldn't mind, there's a load of Yorkshire board over there from the sheds, I wouldn't mind sticking that on top just to, you know, give it a little bit of extra strength, because that marine board has not got a lot of life left in it. Safety first. Say nothing about strap-ons. What do you think I am? I've been to the NFU conference. I'm a very sensible person, I'll have you know. So out of interest, this old Ranger that we do not use very much, for saying that we don't use it, we've just checked it's done 1,200 miles in a year, which is crazy. I didn't think we'd gone that far in it at all. Just to Kirby and back, really, to be honest.
Carlisle Airport.
Yeah, Carlisle Airport for all of the wood and Yorkshire board for the muck sheds. Yeah, and the handling system, we went and got the purlins for the handling system because we just bought the steel. Yeah, but imagine, that's crazy. So it's done that many miles in a year. Imagine if you were going to Carlisle for your job and you were there every single day, how many miles you would do?
20,000.
Crazy. Hi, kids.
After sleeping on the floor,
So we are just going to dose some cattle. Here is said cattle. Want them in there. Here they come. Come on, kids, take your time. So glamorous. Like, honestly, you can't even. So glamorous.
Plaster, never a cure. Unable to raise our sights and nurture a collective sense of mission. And farming.
Good afternoon. Helen Drinkhall from NFU's Next Generation Forum. Sir Keir, I believe under a Labour government, public rights over private land will be extended through right to roam. Are you aware of how disastrous this will be for urban fringe farmers like myself, to whom the general public already cause a lot of issues? An extension of right to roam could essentially write off productive livestock fields in our area, especially during sensitive times in the farming calendar. This is both from an animal welfare and farm safety perspective.
see my face. I'll slip on out the door before you see my face.
Sides really of what is going on. Front page of every newspaper: salad shortages, Asda rationing. That will be happening.
We can't control the weather in Spain either, so I'm not necessarily seeing a market failure. So
We saw a market failure with pigs and poultry.
well, I'm not sure that we've seen a market failure with poultry.
We had 1 billion less eggs in 2022 to 2019.
That's not necessarily a market failure. So you know,
Well, we've lost businesses on the back
hey,
of
I'm not denying that people have chosen potentially not to restock on certain things.
Is it me, or do I feel that I've been living through an episode of Yes Minister?
But you've mentioned that you source it from all over, so you know, Ireland, UK, whichever. But what percentage is going to be British? What do you see the opportunities for everyone in this room going forward and for the next 5 years? You know, crystal ball stuff. What can give us some confidence to invest to produce for something that you'd be looking for?
Because, you know, what we said about mental health last night and FCN, we raised a record amount for them. They do an amazing job. So keep in touch with each other and look after yourselves. And above all else, thank you for all your support.
So I'm meeting Minette Batters at the NFU conference.
Minette Batters.
Can you tell us how you ended up with Minette's pass?
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Well, thanks, Minette. Thanks, Minette. Thanks. Yeah, it's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you.
And let out a sigh. Please, please forgive me. Please, can't you forgive me?